Hello and welcome to Colombia and the city of eternal spring, Medellin. We're here for the fourth stage and the final stage of the Hyundai Archery World Cup. It's the sixth time the city has hosted this World Cup, and we're nestled right up in the Andes Mountains. It's a brand new venue right in the middle of the city. The Parque del Rio is a fantastic location. There have been plenty of spectators, and it's right alongside the banks of the Medellin River. Well, the windsock tells a bit of a story here. It's been a tiny bit blustery, but a very low wind. The temperature's crept up, but it's a little bit more comfortable now because the humidity has come right the way down. Plenty of time for some good archery to come, but first up it's the women's individual competition. Let's meet the final four.
Ansan, Korea. 강채영, Korea. 이가형, Korea.
Katharina Bauer, Germany.
Well, there they are, 3 Koreans and 1 German, and here's how they line up. Katharina Bauer coming through the top half of the draw will face An San, followed by the all-Korean second semi of Kang and Lee. And it's time to get underway in the Recurve women's individual. It's time to meet the first semi-final pairing.
On target number 1, representing Korea, An San. On target number 2, representing Germany, Katharina Bauer. The lineup for this match is Clemens Cesar.
Well, there are the athletes. I'm Karen Bashir, and I'm joined by Dutch Olympian Chef van den Berg. Chef, what a session we've got to look forward to here.
Yeah, we are looking forward to a session full of Koreans and the European champion, the reigning European champion, is it? So this will be a good one.
It certainly will be, and we've got a situation here where Katharina Bauer has already qualified on points, along with the 2 athletes from Chinese Taipei who aren't appearing here. So this is a real tussle between An and the other 2 Koreans in the other semi-final. Choi Mi-sun's already qualified, but not in the final 4. Can the German spoil the Korean party? An San will get this semi-final underway.
It's just textbook technique from An San. It's lovely to watch. Katharina maybe not so textbook, but still very solid in her technique. As An San gets this first set underway with a 2-0 lead, as Katharina cannot shoot an 11 on this shot.
3 9s for a 27 for Bauer, and just like that, An San goes 2-0 up, as Chef van den Berg says. Chef, just give everyone a refresher on the scoring system for Recurve individual competition.
Yeah, Recurve archers use the set system, which means that they shoot 3 arrows per set. The highest score of that set gets awarded 2 points, 2 set points. A draw will get you 1 set point, and the first archer to get at least 6 set points wins the match.
Get a good look at that technique from the triple Olympic champion and history maker An San.
Yeah, and Katharina doesn't have a bad technique herself, but there's a little bit of a difference in her line work. You can see that her back elbow isn't quite getting as far back as the elbow of Ansan. It has a little bit to do with your body composition, but it also has to do with just simply technique.
Breakthrough season for the 26-year-old Bauer. She's got a team gold this season on the tour on the Hyundai Archery World Cup. Plus 2 team silvers. Individual bronze as well. As Chef mentioned, European team champion at 2022. But she's behind here, Katarina Bauer, to get set number 2 underway, and has to come from behind against Ansan.
Looked like a lovely shot. It looked much more active in her extension, and the release was just smooth as butter. And Ansan has a great group, a little bit low and a little bit to the right, but that's the only thing you can really say about it, because it's quite good. So here you get a nice view of that elbow just slowly moving behind the line of the arrow, making it easier, technically speaking, to hold the draw weight of the bow without having too much tension on the muscles.
Bit of pressure on Ansan here. 10 to share the points, and it's just clipped the line for a 28. So all square in the set, which means Ansan maintains her 2-point lead. 3-1, halfway to the target score of 6 points for the win. So far this season, we've seen Bryony Pittman take a stage win in Antalya, Choi Lee-sun in Korea in Gwangju, and Agu Utano of Japan winning in Paris. The stage winners automatically qualify for the finals, and so here we have a final 4 that doesn't include a stage winner. Someone of these 4 is going to book their place in the finals in Mexico in October.
Yeah, all is up for grabs here, and I think all of these 4 archers feel like they have a shot at the gold medal. So yeah, it'll be very exciting to see who walks away with it.
And there's a real tussle in that Korean team as well, as always, with the quality of their archery. They've already got 1 in Choi Mi-sun, having 1 in Gwangju, and 3 in the finals here, in the final 4. Who is going to claim that second Korean spot? Because you can only send 2 from one nation to the finals. Bauer still trailing, but he's on the scoreboard now. It's time for set number 3.
Such a good shot from Katarina, but also from the cameraman. It was a lovely shot to have an overhead to see just how all of the lines in the shoulders and in the arms just have to be one big picture. Really both have their foot on the gas right now. Ooh. And that's the first arrow we've seen go out of the gold this final. With a big opportunity for Ansan to get this set.
Yeah, she does it with a perfect score as well to go 5-1 up. You blink and you'll miss it. A super fast individual competition, both compound and recurve. The set system, recurve archery, can finish before the regulation number of sets.
Yeah, it can, because technically speaking, you only need 9 arrows if you win all 3 of the sets. In the longest case, you need 16 arrows or even more if the shoot-off is a tie. So I'm sure that Katarina wants to shoot at least 15 arrows in this match now.
Yeah, regulation of 5 sets as we take a look back over the third. The situation here for Bauer now is that she has got to win the next 2 sets. And San, a triple Olympic champion, all she has to do is match the scores that Bauer puts down to get the 1 set point she needs for victory.
Yeah, so if she shoots another one of those 30s that she just did, she wins the match regardless of what Katarina Bauer shoots. So yeah, she really has the control in this match right now.
Time to return to the shooting line, and Germany's Katharina Bauer giving herself a little pep talk there. She knows she's got to put down a big score to put An San under some kind of pressure.
Again, matching arrow for arrow. I like that Oliver Heiden, the coach of Katarina, was very specific in where that arrow landed. He didn't just say that's a 10, you did a good job. He said that's a 10.2 at 8 o'clock. So he's very specific in the information that he's giving her, and that must have been something that they have either decided together or have practiced.
And San doing what she needs to though, and matching Bauer. Can Bauer get a perfect score and put some pressure on the Korean? So a 29, a 9 for victory in semi-final number 1, and a 9 is what An San gets, just enough to do the job. She takes the first semi-final over Katarina Bauer by 6 points to 2.
That was a very high-level match, especially from An San. I think she shot a 29 average, which some quick calculation would translate to 348 points in the qualification round, or 696 if you add that up to a full 720, which is higher than the world record. So this just shows you how good she's actually shooting in a place like this finals venue.
So high quality set by An San and Katarina Bauer. Confirmation that An San, the triple Olympic champion, is through to the gold medal match, still in the hunt for an automatic spot in the Hyundai Archery World Cup final in Mexico later on this year. Katarina Bauer has already booked her place on ranking points, but she'll be back out here for the bronze medal match.
Coming up next is the second semi-final match in this Recurve women's division.
Well, Chef, you're talking about Bauer's elbow, and it's quite clear it's not pulled back quite as far. We just get a picture here of An San, as you said.
Yeah, and it can have to do, or you can put your elbow further behind the arrow in 2 ways. You can either put your draw length further, essentially, so you can pull back the bow further, and therefore your elbow will move back further. Or you can put your bow shoulder, so left shoulder for a right-handed archer, more in line with the bow, and that will also make your elbow go more in line. But you also have to take into account that not everybody has the same length forearm and upper arm. So if you have a longer forearm, it's obviously easier to get into line than when you have a longer upper arm. So yeah, there's a lot of things that can decide if you are actually able to get in line and if it's good for your technique.
Well, that last point is crucial, isn't it? If it's good for your technique, because it's a very individual sport in terms of the process you go through. No process is wrong as long as you can stay consistent and put it into the center of the target.
Please welcome the athletes to the field of play.
Time for semi-final number 2 here in Medellin, the last stage of the Hyundai Archery World Cup circuit, stage 4. And no real surprise, 2 Koreans in this semi-final. Let's go and meet them.
On target number 1, representing Korea, Kang Chae-young. On target number 2, representing Korea, Lee Ga-hyun. linesman for this match is Carlos Cervantes.
Well, no individual stage medals so far this season for Kang Chae-young, the 26-year-old world number 10. Lee Ga-hyun has got close with a silver medal this season, but needs that gold to guarantee a place in Mexico at the finale in October. Yet again, the Koreans in different shirts, part of the process for World Archery. If they do have two athletes from the same nation, easy to take a quick glance and work out who's who. So Lee starts us off with a 10 in this second semi-final. Who will face An San in the gold medal match?
So arguably Kang Chae-young has the most experience here. Lee is quite a bit younger, but that doesn't mean that you can just cancel her out because of the lack of experience. She has been shooting very well this season, and I think she can show what she's worth in this semi-final.
Right, 28 to start here. Now, Kang could do with a 10 here and hope the measure of the second hour. She's not going to get the 10 that she needs, and the 2 set points definitely go to Lee to start things off. That did look like it was a 9, that second arrow.
Yeah, it did. It doesn't really matter now because she shot an 8 in the last arrow, but I think she would have taken the set with a 10 and would have shared the points with a 9. So shooting an 8 at this moment is maybe not the nicest thing for her to happen.
So here's a question for you. It's always nervy facing a Korean, in particular in recurve, women's recurve archery. Are they still going to be nervous because they're facing a Korean?
Yes and no, I suppose. Yes, they'll be nervous because they have to shoot against a teammate, but it also, in some cases, it's easier to shoot against a teammate because it feels more like a competition that you would shoot at home. And I'm sure in Korea they have many competitions where they simulate this type of shooting with a finals venue.
Well, Lee leads this all-Korean semi-final against Kang. So Kang will shoot first, trying not to show any emotion at all.
Was a longer hold than what she wanted to have, I think, but yeah, there's a bit of a sigh of relief there after the arrow hits the 10. I think that was not really her typical shot pace, but like I've said before today, you don't always have to shoot your exact rhythm as long as you can maintain the right tension in your shoulders and your arms and shoot a good shot in those circumstances. Then it's fine if it takes a bit longer, but not everybody has the quality and the stamina to do that.
Chance here to go 4-0 up for Lee. She needs a 10 to do it. They've matched each other arrow for arrow through this set, 28 apiece, and so they'll share the 2 set points. And that means Lee maintains her 2 set point lead. It goes to 3-1.
I get the impression that they're both still trying to find their rhythm, find their maybe side marks, but at least they're not really on it yet, like we've seen at in the first match with An San. I don't think these Korean archers differ too much in just overall level of shooting. So the fact that An San had such a high level in the first semifinals means that these archers maybe have something to pick up in the next couple of sets rather. It's difficult to see with the zoomed in shot like this, but 70 meters is actually really, really far. You can see the arrow leave the frame because it goes so high up before dropping back down and hitting the target. So in some cases the arrows fly 5 or 6 meters high in their arc.
So Kang starts set number 3 with a 9. And if you like, this is a real proper head-to-head because Lee is much further up the ranking list at the moment than Kang. So if she wins here, then Lee effectively ends Kang's chances of qualifying by ranking. And then it's all down to which Korean wins in the final. So we've got a couple of massive matches here. You would have thought that the athletes would know exactly the ranking situation, Chef.
Some archers are very on that information. They want to know everything and they want to know exactly what they have to do and which place they have to be at. But some archers just think it doesn't matter because I have to shoot as well as I can in any case. So it shouldn't change how he's shooting or how I am shooting as an archer.
Well, as you can see, they've matched each other again. Another 28 for these two, and that means Lee still holds that 2-point lead, 4-2 going into this. It is interesting that approach, that mental approach to it. What was yours?
I try to not be too busy with it, but yeah, I have a tendency to like stats. So if I can look up stats, if I'm sitting in the hotel just burning time, then I will. And for me, that was always like a thing to calm me down as well. So I tried to at least know what I was, where I was standing, and kind of what I needed to do, but I didn't want to go into it too much.
Well, my gut tells me that these two will know exactly, maybe not the points, but they'll know that whoever wins here stays in the hunt.
Yeah, it's a pretty black and white scenario here, so it's easy to understand what needs to happen to get to the final.
Well, Lee is in the driving seat here, leading 4-2. Kang knows that she has basically got to start to level things up here. She can't keep sharing the points. And that is not the start she was looking for.
So we were talking about elbows earlier in the previous match, and you can see that Kang's elbow has it kind of goes over the line of the arrow, so it's quite high up, not necessarily super high. But if you compare it to Lee's elbow, it's under the line of the arrow, so it kind of points down. It's not really a Korean style, but well, she manages to make it work.
Get a good view of that. 28 again, set by Kang, but a 9 will do it for Lee. Does she keep her chances alive of qualifying for the finals? Yes, she does, with a 29 after 2 28s. Lee is through to the final. It's a tough break for Kang. You can see that she's a little bit disappointed, but a 6-2 victory for Lee Ga-hyun, and she's through to the final here, the all-Korean final where Lee will face An. I'm trying to maintain a respectful demeanour, both of them, but I think you could quite easily tell that Kang was very disappointed at the end of that. She knows that chance has now passed her by, and there's the smile from Lee.
Yeah, Kang has been hasn't been shooting as well as she did before the whole lockdown situation, I feel. ever since we got back to shooting. She has been shooting very well in teams, and she has had quite high results, but not in the same way that we've seen her shoot in 2019 and so forth.
We get a chance to take a look back at the processes these athletes go through. Kang there, it's a little bit steamy out there, but she knew what she had to do. The 8 in that final set at the beginning. Well, I think Lee licked her lips there, knowing that there was a fair chance that she would take that second semi-final in the 4th set. 29 to finish it off, and Lee goes through by 6 points to 2. So 2 more matches to go in the recurve women's competition. First up, it's the bronze medal match between Katharina Bauer and Kang Chae-Lung.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the coaches and judges to the field of play.
So now it's time for the medals here in Medellin in the recurve women's individual competition. First up, we will see the 2 losing semi-finalists, Katharina Bauer of Germany and Kang Chae-Lung of Korea, face off for the 3rd place playoff, the final place on the podium, and then it will be An San against Lee Ga-hyun. Bronze medal match time though here in Medellin at the 4th and final stage of the Hyundai Archery World Cup. This is a tough matchup. Let's go down and meet the athletes.
On target number 1, representing Germany, Katharina Bauer. On target number 2, representing Korea, Kang Chae-Lung. The line judge for this match is Clement Cesar.
So Bauer faces Kang here for the bronze medal. This is a really tough one. Bauer knows that she's already qualified for the finals. She's lost out, okay, in the semi-finals, but she's here for a bronze medal and can relax into the fact that she's already qualified. Kang Chae-Lung is a different story. She knows her chance of a place in the Hyundai Archery World Cup finals is behind her. How much grit and determination does she have to really go for this bronze medal here in Medellin? We're about to find out. It's time for set number 1.
So they're obviously having different mindsets here, where Katharina is just shooting to get as high a position as possible. And Kang maybe feels like she has lost out already because she is not going to the World Cup final. So it'll be interesting to see if she has the professionalism and the mental fortitude to really pull through this match.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's that mental fortitude. And like you say, important ranking points for Bauer, 27 for Kang. Means there's an opportunity here for Bauer. She needs a 10 to grab the first 2 set points.
And they share this set, but I don't remember the arrow by arrow results of the last match of the two of them. But I think that my feel is that Katarina actually shot a better semi-final than Kang did. So although she might be up against a Korean, I think she has a very good chance if she manages to keep that level up that she was showing against An San.
Well, you've blown me away again. She had a better semi-final by 1 arrow. It's Bauer. Quite interested on these replays. Get a close-up of all the equipment. Bauer's release aid looks very different to anyone else's.
You mean the finger tab, the finger protection? Yeah. She has a, I don't know if I'm supposed to name brands here, but she has a finger tab that has a special made finger spacer that is cast in a certain size, whereas most finger tabs have a either elastic band or a strap with a little button to tighten it. So it is a bit of a different finger spacer, yeah.
Set number 2, all square between Kang and Bauer, so we stick with the order we started with.
That's the first 10 of the match. So far they haven't gone out of the gold, but not a lot of 10s have been shot so far. And it looks like they're both starting to make a change in that. Yeah, she knew that was going to go low. I don't think she expected it to go so low, but you could see in the reaction in her front arm that she was trying to push it up when the arrow left. And that's a bit of a subconscious reaction to a certain feel that you have during the shot. And it's not really something you can actively train. It's just something that happens if you shoot a lot and if you have a certain connection with the bow.
Well, that 8 has given the opportunity to Kang, who took it, and she grabs the set points in the second set to lead 3-1 over Bauer. Bauer trying a bit of bow quando, as we call it here, dubbed by Mackenzie Brown, the US archer, where you just try and give a little extra to try and move the course of the arrow. Do you believe it works?
It would be very strange if I said it wouldn't, because I think I'm one of the worst at them. So yeah, once a commentator said that it looked like I was incorporating a backflip into my technique, but yeah,
that wasn't me.
I never went as far as actually doing a backflip and breaking my neck on stage. So yes, I do think it works. It's not necessarily the movement of throwing your bow around, but it's more that you're trying to correct, and because there's no more tension on the bow, because you've released the string, it's easier to throw the bow around with the same amount of force that you would use if you're still pulling back the bow.
Bauer has had a little reset here going into the third set. She trails by 2 set points. She's been very good, very dogged this season, Bauer. We've seen a step up in performance. She's behind here, so starts set number 3.
Yeah, what's important for Katarina now is that she shouldn't dwell on that 1-8 that she shot, but rather look at this as a new opportunity, because every set you start at 0 effectively, and it doesn't really matter what the set points are at that particular point.
It's the 4th 10 in a row for Kang. She has found the middle of the target.
It's the first time we see a little bit of wind on the bow there. Katarina has a little piece of string on her stabilizer that can indicate where the wind's coming from, and that was the first time I've really seen it move.
First perfect as well now from Kang Chae-young. She goes 5-1 clear, and Chef, you mentioned the breeze picking up. If you get a wide shot, if you see a wide shot at home, folks, that the sun is shining here. There's a few clouds in the sky, but the wind is blowing. And if you look at the weather forecast for the city today, storms likely for the next several hours.
Yeah, so it might look nice now, but it's very prone to change.
As they call it the city of eternal spring, that is very true indeed. Bauer had a reset between the second and third sets, but dropped an 8. Perhaps wind affected, we don't know. But Kang has found the middle of the target, shooting a perfect 30 to go 5-1 up.
Yeah, and the disappointment on Katarina's face, I think, says enough about that shot. She didn't really want that arrow to go to the 8 ring, understandably, and yeah, Kang just took this opportunity to take the lead with another 30.
So, big pressure now on Katarina Bauer in this bronze medal match. She has to be clear on points at the end of the next 6 arrows to stay in with a chance of a medal here in Medellin. Kang Chae-young just has to match Katarina Bauer.
She doesn't. Looks into me.
Gone for a measure. Close enough that they'll have to go and inspect that one. Kang's made the adjustment. It was definitely out, so...
Yeah, it was a great group, but I think indeed Kang will need a 10 to win this. She gets it.
That's exactly what she's done for a guaranteed 29. It's a provisional 28 for Bauer. Could be marked up to a 29, so we don't know whether it's 6-2 to Kang or 7-1. Either way, Kang has taken the bronze medal. Well, Chef, we wondered whether Kang was going to be able to pick herself up and deliver, and she's done just that, and fairly confidently as well.
Yeah, she looked, especially towards the end of the match, she looked much more happy with how she was shooting and where she was, and you can see by now she has a genuine smile on her face. So I think even though she might have lost out on the spot for the World Cup final, she is happy that she is on the podium here in Medellin.
Confirmation then that Kang Chae-young has taken bronze here in Medellin, winning by 6 points to 2 over Katarina Bauer. Just a few stray arrows from Bauer, but you know, we questioned, well, we didn't question, we queried how difficult it was going to be for Kang, knowing the World Cup final was gone, but she was professionalism personified.
Yeah, she was really professional in how she dealt with the maybe devastating loss in the semifinals, because it wasn't only a loss for this particular World Cup, but she also missed out on the World Cup final by losing to her teammate. So it takes some real athleticism and some real professionalism to get over that and to perform well in the following round.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the coaches and judges to the field of play. And now, please welcome the athletes to the field of play.
Time to go for gold here in Medellin at the fourth stage of the Hyundai Archery World Cup. It's an all-Korean final, and there is a huge amount at stake here. First, let's go and meet the athletes.
On target number 1, representing Korea, An-san. On target number 2, representing Korea, Lee Ga-yu. The light for this match is Carlos Cervantes.
Bags and bags at stake here. Not only a stage win up for grabs, but this is a straight shootout between two Koreans for the second Korean spot in the Hyundai Archery World Cup finals taking place in Mexico in October. Chef, this is a pressure match.
Yeah, it is, and I think both are very deserving of that spot. But besides the fact that, yeah, there's only two Koreans allowed to go to the World Cup final. That's just what the rules are like.
Choi Mi-sun already qualified by winning in Gwangju. And San gets the match underway with a 9. It's been a feature of the semi-finals and finals, shooting a 9 first. Oh, that's close though. Has that cut the line?
Yeah, that one. So far, I've called all of them in or out pretty consistently, but now this one I don't dare.
Too close to call, even for Dutch Olympian Chef van der Berg. Another close one.
Yeah, I think she likes to tease us a bit with this.
So hard to call this one. 29 definitely from An-san. We don't know whether this is 20 or 18. Well, that's gone high. Now that has that stayed in the 9? It hasn't.
It has. I think it has, but
it's marked, isn't it, on the scoreboard? So we need to wait for all 3 arrows to be measured here for Lee. 2 close 9s. One perhaps the first one, perhaps more likely to get called a 10. That would give her, what, 27?
see, it's definitely a 9, the last one.
Yep, definitely a 9. Now, 2 arrows to measure here. Difficult camera angle, that's better. Chef? Well, top one down, bottom one up, just as we thought.
Yeah, I don't know if that meant 9 or 10, or if he meant the bottom one is a 10 or the top one is a 10.
So now the judges point at the arrows and they have to do a signal to say whether they're marking the value up or down. So he pointed at the top arrow and pointed down, and the bottom arrow he pointed up.
Okay, so that would mean a 28 in that case.
And it was a 29 from An-san. So An-san with a 2-set point to 0 lead. And the advantage is with her. Well, this has started better for the triple Olympic champion, so it will be Lee Ga-hyun to start set number 2. don't rule out a comeback and a fight back straight away.
Ocho.
Oh, but another 8.
Yeah, she's been. Her first arrow was like pretty much on target, just a little bit to the right, and then she's just been hitting higher and higher.
Wow. And San marked with an 8 with an asterisk, which means it goes to a measure. I think we're starting to see the nerves playing a part here.
Yeah, she's maybe not moving her side enough. I don't know if she was going to still move her side more, but judging by what I just saw, I don't think she's just adjusting her side enough.
Let's find out if she's made a better correction. She has there for a confirmed 27.
And I think my gut feel says that it's a 26, that the 8 will not be upgraded to a 9, but
Well, let's see. Because this is critical. This another measure. 2 hours measured in the first one for Lee. 1 in the second set for An San. Let's have a look. That does look like...
yeah, it's an 8. They don't even take the magnifying glasses out, they just point at it, and I think that means that it's clear that it's an 8.
So, said don't rule out a fight back, and then we saw Lee shoot an 8. And thought this one was going to run away from her, but
Resultado oficial, 2
Anne
puntos de
has,
set para cada arquera.
well, given us the opportunity to see a proper match-up here. I've got to say, I think nerves are playing a part here.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. An San had averaged a 29 in the semifinal, and now she is shooting 8s. So yeah, I think there's definitely more nerves on this match than on the previous.
Inicia disparando blanco, número 1.
Well, having battled their way through a week of qualification, these two have made it through to the final, but it's still a huge pressure match here between the two Koreans. Start of the third, and An San is on the shooting line.
That looked like a really clean shot, but I think she might want to give her side even more clicks to the right. An San getting some tips from Park Seung-hyun, one of the archery legends, who is now turned Korean coach.
So, a 27 chance here for Lee to take the lead. Oh, she's popped it into the 8. This is an incredible match. A 26 plays a 27, and it's two Koreans in the box. An San has just re-established a 2-point lead.
Yeah, so this is the second time we see an 8 at a critical moment from two Koreans. So this is very different than what we're normally seeing from them.
Incredibly unusual here, but it speaks of the gravity of this match. Yes, it's a stage win, of course, and everybody wants it, but the added pressure and arguably for these two, the more important factor in this is the winner goes to the finale. The loser, and this is where the pressure comes from, doesn't go anywhere, not even the top step of the podium in Colombia.
Yeah, I think this match has such a pressure on it because, I mean, they're so close they can almost taste the tacos already.
Are you hungry, chef?
Maybe.
Start of the fourth set here. An San won the first, Lee won the second, An San won the third. So Lee shoots first in the fourth. Much more like what we're used to. And of course, they both find the middle of the target at exactly the same time. Boy, this is tense.
Yeah, so regardless of if they're shooting really well or not so well, I feel like they're kind of in the same ballpark the whole time.
All of a sudden, An San has control. Fancy Lee needs a 10 here. She gets just that for a 29, her highest score in a set so far. But the Colombian title and a place in the World Cup final at stake. A 10 is needed. A 10 is got! A perfect score from An San, the triple Olympic champion, just when it was needed for a 6-2 victory. She's taken the stage win here in Medellin and with it booked her place in the Hyundai Archery World Cup final. Chef Vandenberg, what a match we just saw.
Yeah, this was much less predictable than what we've come to expect from Koreans. I think, at least I expected a very high-level match where they would be shooting a lot of 10s and sometimes a 9, and that would be the opening. But yeah, I think the nerves took a bit of a toll on them, and you could see that there was just a bit more going on than a normal match would.
Just incredible. It's good to see that Lee still has a smile on her face. Tough for her, that's for sure. But An San living up to her billing as a triple Olympic champion when the chips were down. She played the right hand. An San, winner of the Recurve Women's Individual Competition here in Medellin, and confirmed as a World Cup finalist. Well, Chef, it was so up and down. 1, 2, 3 8s, and perhaps more 9s than 10s. I mean, it's so unusual for the Koreans.
Yeah, I've just had a look over the field when we had a nice overview shot, and it does seem like the windsocks and the flags are moving a bit more than what we've seen so far today. So it might be that storm is coming closer, and that they were also just battling the wind. But it was difficult for us to see, as we had a nice little slow motion action of An San hitting Lee in the face with her shoulder.
Well, let's go and speak to the winner here in Medellin.
An San, congratulations. This is your first gold since the Olympics. How happy you are with this achievement?
안산 선수 먼저 축하드리고요. 올림픽 이후에 첫 금메달인데 지금 소감이 어떠신가요?
우선은 너무 감사드리고 또 한국 선수가 겨루게 되어서 또 영광입니다. 그리고 또한 바로 1년 전에 도쿄올림픽이었는데 이렇게 같은 달에 좋은 성적을 거둘 수 있어서 참 뜻깊습니다.
First of all, thank you. And then I've competed with Korean archers and it was quite hard for me. And also, just 1 year ago, it was in Tokyo when I won the gold medal. So it's very rememberable for me this month because I got a gold medal a year ago and then now this year too. So I'm very happy.
How was it to compete against your teammate?
이제 한국 선수분들이랑 경기를 했는데 혹시 기분이 어땠나요?
다른 선수들과는 다르게 저희가 또 서로 정보를 많이 알고 있기도 하고 또한 선수들이 잘 쏜다는 것 또한 알고 있었기 때문에 조금 더 긴장을 했었던 것 같습니다. 그래서 중간에 좀 좋지 않은 점수들이 나왔지만 그래도 마음을 비우고 했기 때문에 이렇게 우승할 수 있었던 것 같습니다.
Since it was Korean archers, we know each other so well. So I was more nervous because we know each other well. But I tried to focus on my game and then I did it.
You started as top seed, continue well in the eliminations and now won gold. Is this the perfect competition?
이제 예선부터 좋은 성적을 안고 이제 여기까지 올라오셨잖아요. 그래서 이제 우승까지 하셨는데 혹시 기분이 어떠신가요? 이제 완벽한 경기라고 생각하시나요?
네, 그렇습니다. 또 예선부터 1위를 했는데 이렇게 계속 이제 단체전도 좋은 성적을 거두고 또 개인전에서도 우승을 하게 돼서 정말 개인적으로 만족하고 있는 시합입니다.
I've been first in the qualification and also our team won the gold medal. So I'm personally very satisfied with this stage.
Perfect. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
축하드립니다.
감사합니다.
감사합니다 indeed. Thank you very much, Ansan, for a terrific performance here in Medellin. We're going to see the triple Olympic champion at the Hyundai Archery World Cup final in Mexico in October. But despite the nerviness of that gold medal match, we're about to see 3 Koreans standing on the podium at Hyundai Archery World Cup stage again.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be very proud to represent their country in such a way, and yeah, I think they are very proud. If you could see, or if you remember how they were on the podium with the team medal, they were pointing at their little flag on the shirt and happy to represent their own country.
Time for the Recurve Women's victory ceremony here at the final stage of the Hyundai Archery World Cup circuit. Just one country featuring on this podium. And it's no surprise that it is Korea.
Medals will be presented by World Archery Vice President Maria Emma Gaviria. Gift will be presented by World Archery Secretary General Tom Dillon. Bronze medal representing Republic of Korea. Kan Chae-young.
The toughest of bronze medals to win, pointing at that little flag from Korea. That's what it means to get another medal, despite the disappointment of losing out in the semi-finals. Kan Chae-young was professionalism personified in the bronze medal playoff against Katharina Bauer. Julie finds herself on the podium here in Colombia. Well, it was a tough ask in the final between the 2 Koreans. Either one could have won it. In the end, Lee Ga-hyun has to settle for her 2nd individual silver medal of the season.
Gold medal representing Republic of Korea.
She made history last year at the Olympic Games in Tokyo, becoming the first ever archer to win 3 gold medals, team, mixed team and individual. A last time of asking this season on the Hyundai Archery World Cup circuit. Triple Olympic champion An San has done what she needed to do to qualify for the Hyundai Archery World Cup final, taking the stage win here in Medellin.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of Republic of Korea.
All 3 Koreans on the podium here in the Recurve Women's Tournament in steamy Medellin. And San taking gold from Lee Ga-hyun. The bronze medal going to Kang Chae-young. Another proud moment for the Korean Archery Federation. A clean sweep of the podium here in Colombia. Well, 4 stages complete here. It was a big match-up here throughout the tournament. Semi-final was a big one. The standings after the 4 stages, well, the 4-stage winners, Choi and Pittman and Utanu qualified directly, and the ranking qualifiers are Bauer, Kuo from Chinese Taipei, along with her teammate Peng. And then, of course, we have a host nation athlete who will join them in the Hyundai Archery World Cup finals in Mexico. Well, that's the women's competition done. Coming up very shortly, we'll turn our attention to the men's semi-finals. That's coming very soon.
Damas y caballeros, por favor, dirijan su atención a la línea de tiro. World Archery America's President Maria Emma Gaviria is presenting the award for the Recurve Junior Men Archer of the Year to Nicolas Diamur from the U.S. Virgin Islands. Let's hear it up for Nicolas. La presidenta de World Archery Americas, Maria Emma Gaviria, le está presentando el premio al mejor arquero del año en la categoría Recurvo Juvenil Masculino a Nicolas Diamur de Islas Vírgenes Americanas. Un aplauso para Nicolás. Un aplauso para Nicolás. Kim Woo-jin, Korea. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the coaches and judges to the field of play for the first semi-final match in the Recurve men's division.
Well, as you can hear, it's time for the men's final 4 here in Medellin. And here is how the athletes got to the semi-finals. Nespoli coming through the top will face Alvarino, Italy versus Spain. The bottom half of the draw, it's the USA's Williams versus Korea's Kim. Well, it's a Korean story in the women's competition. There's an air of nervousness, particularly in the USA camp. At the moment, Brady Ellison sits in a ranking qualification place, but Jack Williams is in the final 4 here, and if he was to win, he would go to Mexico in the World Cup finals, knocking out 5-time Hyundai Archery World Cup final winner Brady Ellison. That's a big story, Chef.
Yeah, and he seems to be up for the task since last year he won the World Cup final, so yeah, he must have something that he can bring to the table. And I know that results in the past don't mean anything for the future, but we've seen both Jack and Kim Woo-jin shoot already in the team event earlier today. And I did feel like Kim Woo-jin had a bit more stability and a bit more consistency there. So if that's anything to go by, Jack will not have it easy in his first match.
Not easy at all, is it, facing a Korean? Kim Woo-jin obviously is already qualified, winning a stage here on the tour. He won in Gwangju in Korea, the second stage of the Hyundai Archery World Cup. Miguel Alvarino, who appears in the first semi-final, also won. He won at the first stage in Antalya, so those two already qualified. And in fact, if you look at the ranking points, Maro Nespoli has also qualified for the final stage. So not as much in that first semi-final to play for. Just a stage win.
Yeah, it's just a mere stage win on a World Cup stage. I mean, no, there's not a lot to play for, but it's yeah, it's still a very important match, and I'm sure they'll find that very important themselves.
Do you think though that there's an element, because they know they've both qualified, there's a little bit of the shackles off, a little bit more freedom, and we could get a really high scoring match?
Yeah, I think we could get a really high scoring match. I think Alvarino this year has pretty much only scored high. I thought he was exquisite in the team match we've seen earlier today. Yeah, Nespoli is also a very high scoring archer if he has his right frame of mind.
Well, it's time for the men's semi-final. Before we get underway, let's meet the final four.
Mauro Nespoli, Italy. Jack Williams, USA. Miguel Alvarino, España.
Kim Woo-jin, Korea.
Well, those are the final four. Let's see how they line up for the Recurve men's semi-final. Mauro Nespoli from Italy takes on Spain's Miguel Alvarino at the top of the draw. That's our first semi-final. The second is the USA's Jack Williams going up against Korean Kim Woo-jin. Kim and Alvarino already have stage wins and have qualified for the Hyundai Archery World Cup final. Mauro Nespoli's done enough on points already to qualify himself. Jack Williams is the one with the big story.
And now, please welcome the
He needs the win to qualify for the finals, but if he gets the win, it's, well, poster boy of recurve archery of the last decade, Brady Ellison, who would get knocked out. Semi-final number one in the men's recurve competition. Italy versus Spain. Let's go down and meet the athletes.
On target number one, representing Italy, Mauro Nespoli. On target number two, representing Spain, Miguel Alvarino Garcia. The linesman for this match is Carlos Cervantes.
So Mauro Nespoli is a legend, Olympic team gold medal in London 2012, plus 2 silvers, Beijing team in 2008 and individual silver in Tokyo 2020. But in terms of current form, Alvarino is the man to beat at the moment.
Yeah, I think he's even world #1 right now. So he's definitely, this season, he has been the man to beat, and he has been very difficult to beat.
Certainly has. And it will be Alvarino to get this semi-final underway here in Colombia.
It looks like you were right, Kareem. This might be a very high-scoring match.
Yeah, it baffles me how the archers can come straight out and shoot a 10 straight away. A little bit of Bo Quando there. He looked like he was actually guiding that over to the right there.
Yeah, I think it's because the image was from the front, so it looked like he was guiding it to the right, but he was actually pulling it to the left. So he was actually trying to get that arrow in the middle, but yeah, I think a little too late.
Needs a good shot here, because Nespoli is in the middle of the target at the moment. Beautiful 28 there from Alvarino, but a 10, and the first 2 set points go to the Italian. Amazing start to the match. We expected high scores, and that's just what we've got. 28 plays 29. Nespoli with a 2-point lead. Now, Chef, the standard of the quality is exceptionally high. That's what we were expecting. At the moment, the conditions still look very, very good. And if anything, the wind has died off a little bit. But we've still got this threat of thunderstorms, not just rain, thunderstorms.
Yeah, so if it rains, that's okay. If it starts getting a bit windy, that's still okay. If there's actual lightning, I think they'll stop the competition, and then we'll have to wait until the lightning's over, because effectively they are holding lightning catchers. Like the lightning can hit on the bow, and then that's not a great time.
Yeah, safety comes into play, that is for sure, when things start sparking up in the skies.
And if it starts to get a bit windy, I think Mauho will maybe be happy about that, because he shoots, typically speaking, he shoots a very heavy bow, a very heavy draw weight, which means that his arrows don't have as much of a curve in their flight, and therefore are not as affected by the wind.
Heavy bow weight, faster arrow. Alvarino trailing by 2 set points will get things underway in the second set.
Yeah, Mauro is just on it right now. I don't think he is he's leaving anything to chance in this match. You can see him shake from the draw weight, and he always does this, and it looks really unnerving as a spectator. But I'm sure that he feels comfortable enough with it to still hit the middle, or he wouldn't have had such a high draw weight.
Provisional 28 there for Alvarino. Could get marked up to a 29, and now it's an all-important measure on that second arrow.
I think it's in, from what I could see where I'm sitting, but he's still trailing Mauro Nespoli, but it doesn't look like he's too concerned about it. He's just chilling with his coach. So.
Very relaxed approach in between sets to keep his nerves down. Well, you thought it was in. I think that's confirmation, isn't it, Chef?
Yeah, for me it is. At this point, I think the judge will agree with me without even having to take his magnifying glasses out.
Well, who would disagree with Chef Vandenberg?
Many people.
Oh, you just got married, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
You've got someone living with you that disagrees with you. Congratulations, by the way. Just a couple of weeks
Thank
ago,
you.
right?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, yeah. So Miguel has a bit of bandage around his...
Hold on, before we get to that, you can at least name check your Norwegian wife.
Oh yeah, well, her name is Kristin, and she's lovely.
I'm sure she is. Sorry, you can carry on with archery now if you like.
Miguel Alvarinho has a bit of bandage around his middle finger, and you would say, oh, that's not good, he must be injured, but he always has that around his finger, so whether it is something that he's grown used to, or if it's something that he has to shoot with because of some chronical issue, it's not a reason for concern, because he's been using it the whole season and he's been shooting great.
Starts with a 9 in set number 3.
So I think a couple clicks on the side of Mauro Nespoli wouldn't be a bad idea. He has a good group, but he's just a bit low most of the time.
A little bit of lateral movement there from Alvarino, but still found the middle of the target.
Yeah, well, he does have a bit of an angular draw, so when he comes in from anchor, there is a bit of lateral movement, and the bow has to settle after that. So in the beginning of the shot, you'll always see Miguel's bow move a little bit, so you can see it here. That he comes in from the side, and then the stabilizer tip always moves a little bit. And again, not a bad showing here, but Nespoli has the chance to lock this set away for a 5-1 advantage if he shoots a 10.
And he does shoot that 10 for another 29. That's 3 in a row, and the Italian leads by 5 set points to 1. He really is a big game player. If you just look at his Olympic medals, that's enough proof.
Yeah, and the fact that he's been doing this for, 1.5 decades at such a high level. I think Mauro is one to... he hasn't been, over the years, he hasn't always been as consistent as some of the other archers. But if he is in good shape, he is in very good shape. So he can really defeat anyone on the field, really.
Well, looking very confident and solid. There's not huge amounts wrong with Alvarino, though.
No, he's shooting actually quite a good match, but he's just not as precise as we've seen him in other matches this year. We've seen him in occasions where he needed a 10 to clinch a set, and just shooting a 30 to win. And it doesn't seem like he has that kind of vibe at this moment.
Well, 5-1 lead for Mauro Nespoli from Italy against Miguel Alvarino from Spain. Alvarino will start set number 4, and it's a must-win set for the Spaniard.
Yeah, and again, it's not a bad shot, but it's not going to cut it if Mauro is shooting the way he does.
And all the Italian needs to do now is match the scores that Alvarino puts down, or better them, as he does in this case. Well, an 8 there, using Chef's terminology. He's not going to cut it. Big opportunity here for Nespoli to put this one away now. And he is dialed into the centre. Alvarino with his final arrow, almost certainly in this semi-final. Hits a 10 for a 27. A 27 is all Nespoli needs to win. He's got 20 already. And it finishes with a perfect. What a way to win. 329s and a 30 for a 7-1 victory in the Recurve men's individual semi-final #1. Warm, respectful hugs all round on the shooting line. It was a match that really was all about who was going to try and get through to the final here, because both have qualified for the season finale, and it's Nespoli again in big matches. He is a man that is tough to beat.
Yeah, if he keeps this level up in the final, then if Jack may win the semi-final, he will still have to go through Mauro at top shape to get to that World Cup final. So it's going to be a tough road for him.
Well, confirmation there from the target judge that Mauro Nespoli has made it through semi-final #1, and we will see him a little bit later in the gold medal match. Of course, Miguel Alvarino will be back out before him for the bronze medal match. Shall we take a look back over this? There was very little wrong from Alvarino, but what a performance from Nespoli.
Yeah, that was really good from Nespoli, and but actually also from Alvarino. I think he shot an 8 in the first end, and he shot an 8 in the last end, which were the only two real slip-ups, and the rest was just, yeah, it was just fine, but not good enough to shoot against a Nespoli in this shape or form.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the coaches and judges to the field of play.
Well, as we look down the range, the judge and the coaches are coming out, and you can see the targets being replaced. And waiting in the wings, Kim Woo-jin and Jack Williams. I wonder what's going through that young man's mind.
And now, please welcome the athletes to the field of play.
Time for semi-final #2 here in Medellin, Colombia. The fourth and final stage of the Hyundai Archery World Cup. Kim Woo-jin has already qualified for the finals with a win in Gwangju. His opponent, Jack Williams, needs the win for qualification.
Target number 1, representing the United States of America, Jack Williams. On target number 2, representing Korea, Kim Woo-jin. The line judge for this match is Clement Cesar.
Well, world #1, Kim Woo-jin is 30 years old, two-time Olympic team champion from Rio and Tokyo. Too many medals to really talk about. Prolific, I'm going to go with. Jack Williams, just 22 years old, a world #9, World Youth Team gold medal back in 2017, and an individual medal at the World Youth silver in 2019. He is the 2021 Hyundai Archery World Cup final individual champion, but he needs a win here against a Korean to keep his chances of being able to defend that title alive. Set #1, Kim Woo-jin gets us underway with a 9.
Is it me, Karim, or has it gotten awfully dark there at the finals venue?
It's not you, it's bang on cue as well. 1/2 local time. Jack Williams starting with a 10. 1/2 local time was when the forecast says that we're going to start seeing the weather change. 23 minutes past here in Medellin. 23 minutes past 3. We've got to keep an eye on that weather, because it could play its part here. So yeah, level between the two.
And it was a really, really good shot, but it just hit like maybe 2 millimeters out of the 10. But it counts just as much as a 9-liner.
So a 28 for Kim Woo-jin. Big opportunity here for Williams, and you fancy he's got to take these when they come. And he goes into the 9 for a 28. So all square after the first set. But, Chef, those opportunities where he's got one arrow and he needs a 10, they're going to be rare, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so. If Kim Woo-jin is going to shoot like he is known to shoot, he'll only grow into this match. And yeah, you want to have those. You want to take those opportunities early on in the match. Then again, Jack has last year shown that he can also grow into a match, and that he can also knock out very, very good shooters. He denied Brady Ellison to his, was it 6th individual World Cup title?
Exactly, yes. Sara Lopez had done it, I think, the day before, getting the 6th, unique 6th Hyundai Archery World Cup final championship win. Brady Ellison had a chance to level up a day later. Jack Williams was the one that prevented him, as you said.
And ironically, he could do the same thing this year, but just earlier on. So if Jack wins this match and was able to win the next match, Brady wouldn't be able to go to the World Cup final. So maybe a bit of history repeating itself, but I don't think that Kim Woo-jin would like that prospect.
I think you may be right. It's a tough ask against the world #1 as well. Kim Woo-jin and Jack Williams tied at 1 set point each. It's the start of the second set.
Didn't seem like the greatest shot, but I think Jack, like many other archers, has a bit of Bo Kwando in him, and is able to even shoot a bad shot into the 10 ring. So yeah, like we've talked about before, it's more about the connection with the bow than every time getting a perfectly executed shot.
Oh dear, oh dear. The opportunity was there again. I mean, the good news is 2 9s from Kim Woo-jin means that 8 means Jack Williams is level on points.
You'd expect a 10 here, though.
Can I borrow your crystal ball?
It requires a certain kind of magic to use it. But that is exactly what I was on about earlier. I think if you are shooting against Kim Woo-jin and he is giving you an opportunity, you need to grab it, because he won't give many of them, and he will be able to close out any particular important end with a 10 if he needs to.
Yeah, it's not just about the score, is it? It's about shooting the right arrow at the right time, and that's crucial. And now getting a hand on the shoulder and a comforting pat on the head from the coach there, because Kim Woo-jin, having shot 2 9s, opened the door for Jack Williams, but he shot an 8, and Kim Woo-jin, when the chips were down and he needed a big arrow, was able to produce it. The Korean goes 3-1 up.
And there was that first arrow of Jack where he managed to throw that one into the 10 ring. And the American crowd visibly being happy with that.
Yeah, and you can see now the flags blowing around. Wind is dragging in some wet weather, that is for sure. It's just a question of how long it takes to get here. And one of the things that you have to say, in that cluster of Americans in the crowd, I did not see a certain Brady Ellison. I wonder what he's thinking right now.
Yeah, he might be there somewhere, but he might be sitting in a different spot.
With dark glasses and a hat and a moustache on to make sure he's not picked up by the cameras. Difficult position for Williams, 3-1 down, but look what he can produce when required. A 10, and that's what he's got to do. He's shooting first, he's got to put the pressure on.
This is just incredible, isn't it?
Words cannot describe how good that shot was from Kim Woo-jin.
I I think the reason that we're seeing Jack shoot these kind of shots is that when you were saying that the flags were blowing in the wind, so was the shirt of Jack Williams. So I think there's also a little bit of wind on the line. You can see the hairs of Kim Woo-jin flutter around a little bit. So I think they also have some wind on the bow, and that makes it a little bit more difficult to keep your side pin in the middle, and therefore you have to adjust for that when the clicker goes.
Oh my goodness me, is that an 8? It is. It's marked for a measure.
I think as far as I can see it, Jack will have a good shot at getting the 9, and Kim won't have a shot at getting a 10 with his second arrow. So I think this might be a split set, but yeah, we'll have to wait what the target judge says.
So a provisional 29 from Kim, which we think will remain a 29. A provisional 28 for Williams, which we think will get marked up to a 29. They look pretty confident that the 9 is a 9. Oh, this is a nervy one. Here we go. That's Williams' target. Does it cut the line? It does look like it clips the line for a 9.
Yeah, that one is called out, so it is indeed 29 versus a 29.
So 4-2 the score. We now got confirmation that it is indeed 4-2. Jack Williams still trails by 2, but those first 2 shots in that set were absolutely, well, I'm going to use your word, exquisite.
But I have to admit, I think Jack will have to bring even more than this to the table. I think he needs to take those opportunities to close out a set if he can, because the chance that Woo-jin will keep giving him opportunities are getting slim.
Set number 4, Jack Williams trailing by 2 set points. It's not a must win. It is an absolutely has to win this one to put Kim Woo-jin under pressure. Starts with a 9 for Williams.
So what I feel is happening is that Jack is he's not really closing off any important moments, and therefore Kim Woo-jin feels like there is space to make a couple mistakes, and that just gives him a little bit of confidence going into these sets. So even though it might be a very tight match, I feel like Woo-jin is more comfortable in this match than Jack is at this moment.
And to add to that, when he needs to do something special, he often does. I mean, drops a 9 there, but it does give Jack Williams a chance to get the points. A 10 here, and we'll be all square.
Bit of a longer hold. Again.
The 9, this is... Wow.
This is one of those key moments where, historically speaking, this is where Kim Woo-jin thinks, okay, so I have a bit of a chance, although there is a bit of wind on him now.
Needs a 10 to square the points. He gets a 9. And a 27 for Kim Woo-jin. And, well, you just got to keep your eye on this one. It's 4-4. I'm with you 100% on this, that Kim Woo-jin feels comfortable. He feels that he doesn't always have to put it into the 10, and he can deliver when he needs to. But on that occasion, he didn't. How much of an effect will that have on him?
I think not necessarily on Kim himself, although he was visibly disappointed with that. But you could see the relaxation in the face of Jack Williams when they showed the camera on him and his coach after Kim shot that 9. You could see like, okay, finally I've cracked this, and now I can get on with it.
I've got a break.
Yeah, exactly. So I think this might be, it might have been the moment of the match when we're gonna look back at it.
Well, we go into the 5th and final regulation set here, and you can see the clear disappointment from Kim Woo-jin. He knew that was not the shot he needed. He's got the experience edge over Jack Williams, but they're all square. Can they be separated in the regulation set. So are we going to see a thrilling shoot-off? And I wonder how fast Brady Ellison's heart is ticking right now. Kim Woo-jin on the shooting line in set number 5 of this semi-final. Puts it onto the line of the 10.
And that looked like a classic Woo-jin shot. It looked very pleasing to the eye if you're if you're into archery in general, but also into technique.
A better 10 from Williams. I'll keep his confidence high, but you can still feel that pressure bubbling up. Oh my goodness. Every arrow is so important right now. Didn't look comfortable having released that.
And if you're in Jack's shoes right now, I think you're thinking, oh, please let him not shoot another 10.
Can't be, otherwise it's all done. That's right on the line by the looks of things.
Yeah, I think he gets it.
It's called it a 9 for a measure, just to add to the drama here. So a 10 from Jack Williams, and that measure becomes so important. Long hold again. He's clipped the line, and so the measure does become important. I think I'm with you, Chef. I think you were just about to say that last arrow from Kim, it looked like it had clipped the line.
Yeah, I think, yeah, from what I can see, I think it hits the line. But
I think we're about to find out, aren't we? Let's see what the reaction is there. You don't see it.
I'm sure we'll see it. I'm sure we'll get a close-up, and he has a very content look on his face, doesn't he? Yeah, that's definitely in.
So we have to wait for confirmation from the judge.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We have to, no, but I agree with you. Provisionally, let's just add the word provisionally. I think now we'll see the handshake, and it has been marked up to a perfect score. And yet again, Kim Woo-jin has found himself in a Hyundai Archery World Cup final. And whilst he's probably very, very happy about that, thinking Brady Ellison is going to be pretty happy as well. Yeah, disappointment, so a mixture perhaps, seeing his teammate fail, but it does mean that he's definitely going to the Hyundai Archery World Cup final.
Yeah, I think in an interview Brady said that he was either going to be happy for Jack or he was going to be happy for himself, so he didn't mention being sad about either one of those things.
Well, there were moments, there were opportunities for Jack Williams right from the very start of the match against Kim Woo-jin, and he made Kim Woo-jin grind it out.
Yeah, he did, and he did shoot a very good match, but I think it was just he had opportunities that he didn't quite grab, that he should have grabbed. But yeah, it's so easy to say from where we're sitting, and it's so difficult from where he's standing. So yeah, I would like to say, good job, he's done well, and I hope he doesn't dwell on it too much, because now he has to go for the bronze medal, even though he didn't get that ticket to Mexico for the World Cup final.
Yeah, bittersweet, of course, because he can't defend the title he won last year, but he did look fairly philosophical about it. He's a young man, just 22 years old. He's got a whole career ahead of him at senior level. And we're going to see him again very shortly in the bronze medal match, where he'll take on Spain's Miguel Alvarino. Time for the medal matches now in the Recurve men's individual. First up, we see the two losing semi-finalists, Miguel Alvarino from Spain taking on the USA's Jack Williams, and that will be followed by the gold medal match between Mauro Nespoli of Italy and Kim Woo-jin from Korea. Well, every time we get back to this wide shot, those flags next to the mountain of colours to the left-hand side of the targets are either fluttering manically or not moving at all. It's so changeable here. Time for the bronze medal match here in Medellin at the fourth stage of the Hyundai Archery World Cup. A tough match, that's for sure. Let's go and meet the athletes. Well, a tough one. Jack Williams has missed out on his chance to qualify for the Hyundai Archery World Cup finals. There is, of course, a bronze medal at stake, but perhaps a little less pressure on Alvarino?
Yes or no. I was thinking the other way around, where Jack has just... he can now shoot without the pressure that he had for the World Cup final ticket. So I was thinking either he's still a bit set back from the last match, or he'll just be very good because he doesn't have that added pressure on his shoulders.
Well, of course, Alvarino will be looking for the highest place finish for ranking points for that World Cup final. Time to find out who's going to win the bronze here. Jack Williams of the USA taking on Miguel Alvarino from Spain.
You can really see them discuss the wind, and also the moment Jack shot his shot and saw where it landed, he was looking around at the field, at all the flags, at all the trees, to see if he could read the wind a little bit. The same goes for Miguel. When he shot his first arrow, he looked back at his coach, and his coach was telling him, okay, the wind was doing this, and that's why the arrow went where it went.
But they've both adjusted straight away, haven't they?
And it's a good group, but I think his arrow furthest from the middle is only about a centimeter from the line of the 10, but he still only gets awarded 28 points, which is not enough against the 29 of Miguel Garcia.
Yeah, so the Spaniard goes 2-0 up after the first set. And again, you look down the field of play, and those flags behind that Hyundai car are blowing away.
Yeah, in the beginning of the session, we were saying, yeah, it looks like it's going to be a little bit more windy from now on, and now you can see the trees are moving around, the flags are moving around, the windsocks are moving around. So I think we've reached the point where it's definitely going to be an extra challenge for the archers to hit the middle.
Yeah, an extra challenge indeed. And now just looking at our weather gauge, we are now in the chances of rain being above moderate.
28 puntos para Jack Williams, lo que le da 2 puntos de set al español. Segunda serie inicia disparando.
Well, you can see reaction from Williams, trying to keep himself cool, calm and collected, just staying in the moment and absorbing the data and trying to understand whether shots affected by him or by the conditions, and then adapting to those. But it's Alvarino that leads 2 set points to 0. Jack Williams will start set number 2.
I think you can see, you can see his shirt fluttering around in the wind, and yeah, that must have been the wind, because he seems so surprised by the fact that it went all the way there.
Shooting second in these conditions better because you can read from the arrow of your opponent.
I think it is. Would it not be for the fact that you don't know what your opponent is doing, if he's aiming off or not, how far he's aiming off? So if you solely go off of what your opponent's doing or where the opponent's hitting, you might also be caught off guard by the fact that he aimed off.
Good point. Good points for Alvarino as well. Jack Williams is having a shaky second set here by his very high standards, but he does finish off with a 10 for a 27.
What might be an advantage though is in terms of shooting second, is that you know how much risk you have to put in a shot when it's windy. So if for instance you're leading by a certain amount of points, let's say you're leading for or you have to shoot a 7 to get the set, you know you don't have to shoot a very good shot to get the set. Whereas if you have to shoot a 9 or 10, then maybe you want to wait it out a bit and shoot the shot when you have the least amount of wind. So you can take a little bit more risk.
The minutiae involved in this sport, it continues to fascinate me. You're talking about, fractions of a second even in terms of hold, aren't you? Because you're waiting for that wind just to die off.
Yeah, especially when it's gusty wind. So now I feel like there's a certain breeze that goes from left to right. So it's not like your bow gets thrown around the target. It's more affecting the flight of the arrow. But when it's gusty wind and your sight is just being blown around, then it's easier to I would rather say it's more difficult to find a moment where you have to shoot. So if you don't have to shoot exactly in the middle to win the set, then you might as well shoot it within one of those gusts because you will still hit the amount of points that you need to get.
Interesting take on what's going through the minds of these athletes. At 4-0 down, Jack Williams is looking down the barrel of the gun here, held by Miguel Alvarino. Good arrow though into the 10, but still remains that Alvarino could do this bronze medal in 9 arrows if things go his way.
I don't know if I saw that correctly, but it looked like Miguel was looking around or was looking at the flag while in full draw and while aiming. So it might be that he's very cautious of where the wind is going and very attentive to it.
Williams with his A game so far in this third set. And the door has opened again for Jack Williams, a 10, and he's on the scoreboard, and he takes this match into a 4th set.
And again, it's not a bad shot, a 9, but it's again one of those moments where he could have just decided this set by shooting a 10, and he couldn't quite manage to do so.
This is a critical one though. It goes into the 9 for a 28. Had that been a 9, it would have been a much more comfortable position for Miguel Alvarino, but it does mean that Jack Williams is on the scoreboard, now trailing by 4 set points to 2. Discussions going on between coaches and athletes on both sides of the shooting line. There was a little bit more sort of action from the American coach. What would he be going through there?
I think he's just giving some simple technical tips. That's what you might do in a situation like this. You don't want to go into like little nuances of the technique because that's a bit too much of a burden on the brain, I would say. But a simple tip like work on your pressure forward, or make sure your anchor is good, or something simple for as a reminder, can really help to make it easier mentally to get through the match.
Bit of a distraction, perhaps, is what you're saying?
Yeah, distraction is also a word to put it, yeah.
Unless you can see something very specifically wrong with the technique.
Yeah, so if you're, for instance, not going into full anchor and you have to pull too far to get it through the clicker, then yeah, that's a very easy way to make a lot of mistakes, because then there's too much movement. So then you can say, okay, make sure you go all the way to the clicker before you anchor. So that's the kind of stuff that you can hear in a match like this.
Jack Williams on the scoreboard, but still trails by 4 set points to 2. He's going to shoot first in the 4th set.
Yeah, a little bit of wind on the bow, but he sticks it. There's been a couple instances now where Jack has shot quite a good shot, but it just was right out of the 10, and that doesn't really help your confidence, because you kind of want those good shots to land in the 10, because then you at least know that that's all you have to do.
We could do with a 10 here to put some pressure on Alvarino.
Oh, that was a gust. I'm actually impressed that it still hit there, because there was definitely a gust about a second before his clicker went. But now Alvarino has the chance to put this away with a 10. Yeah, well, you have to only tie him. Alvarino only has to tie Jack Williams right now, and he is shooting second, so he knows what he has to shoot. So that might just give him a little bit of peace of mind.
Resultado oficial luego de la cuarta serie: 5 puntos de set para Miguel Alvariño, 3 puntos de set para Jack Williams.
So yeah, I mean, that pressure is it's a different kind of thing. I mean, and on the other side of the shooting line with Jack Williams, he's well, under immense pressure. He's just got to put down some big scores.
Yeah, he'll need to come out with all he's got right now, because this is the last opportunity for him to stay in this match and force Alvarino to a shoot off.
So bronze medal at stake here in Medellin. Miguel Alvarino of Spain leading this man here, Jack Williams, by 5 set points to 3. Williams needs 10s.
And that's just unlucky. I say unlucky, and obviously there's skill involved in shooting a 10, but Jack has shot so many arrows that were within a centimeter of the 10 ring, but have just been out.
And Alvarino's had a few that have just been in, and that may be the difference in this match. Another one. Making a little adjustment. Well, Williams really could do with a 10 to put some kind of pressure on Alvarino. Gets it. They're all in the same area, but a 28 again, and it's a 9 that's required for bronze for Alvarino. And he gets the 9 he needs for another 28, another tied set, but it means a 6-4 win and the bronze medal for Miguel Alvarino Garcia from Spain. Handshakes all round between coaches and athletes. It was a tighter match than 6-4 suggests. It was a much tighter match than that.
Yeah, well, 6-4 is about as tight as it gets without going to shoot off. So in that regard, it was a really tight match, and you could see the relief on the face of Garcia, and now once again he looks more relieved than than excited about his win. So I think he realized that he was on the brink of losing the whole match, while actually he was just winning. So it was a very strange match in that regard.
Yeah, and we're going to get a look back over some of the shots, and you called it that those close shots seem to all go into the 9s for this man here, Jack Williams, and the close shots all seem to go into the 10 just for Alvarino, and that's really what made the difference.
Yeah, in this match it did. So I don't think the group size of Jack Williams was necessarily bigger than the group size of Garcia, even though Garcia won this match, and that's just how the cookie crumbles.
So bronze for Miguel Alvarino here in Medellin. Just one more match to go in this beautiful city surrounded by the Andes Mountains. Will they get this gold medal match coming up done in time ahead of what is sure to be a rather wet late afternoon here in the eternal city of spring? So one more match to go here in Medellin, Colombia at the fourth and final stage of the Hyundai Archery World Cup. And it's the gold medal match. We've just seen Alvarino take the bronze. And we've got a big matchup. Two big competition players in this gold medal match. Mauro Nespoli from Italy takes on Kim Woo-jin from Korea. Chef, two legends of the sport.
Yeah, two legends and two Olympic champions in the team round. Both not Olympic champions individually, but one of them has an individual medal. So Mauro has a silver medal from the Olympics in Tokyo.
Yeah, his medals span from back in Beijing.
Yeah, I think he got the silver medal in teams in Beijing in 2008, if I remember correctly.
You do indeed. Missed out on a medal in 2016 in Rio, team gold in London 2012, and then that individual silver in Tokyo. He's going to Paris, do you think? I mean, it looks like he could do.
Yeah, it seems like he's well on his way to Paris by now.
Well, the athletes are waiting in the wings. We are waiting for the judges and the coaches to come out. Sounds like they are just about to come out. Not long to go now before we find out who is going to win the final stage of this four-stage Hyundai Archery World Cup circuit. It was Miguel Alvarino of Spain in Antalya. Kim Woo-jin, who's in this final, took the title in Korea in Gwangju, and the Brazilian Marcos D'Almeida won in Paris at stage number 3. They've all qualified for the Hyundai Archery World Cup final, and so has Mauro Nespoli, who is Kim Woo-jin's opponent in this gold medal match. Time to find out who is going to take this fourth title here in Colombia. Stage winner Kim Woo-jin, and ranking qualifier Mauro Nespoli on the shooting line.
Target number 1, representing Italy, Mauro Nespoli. Target number 2, representing Korea, Kim Woo-jin. The line judge for this match is Clemen Cesar.
Chef, one name. Who's going to win this Colombian title?
Woo-jin.
Going for the Korean Kim Woo-jin. We know it's always tough to beat a Korean on the medal range, but Mauro Nespoli is a big competition player. They both look very calm and relaxed. They both qualified for the Hyundai Archery World Cup final, but you can bet that Mauro Nespoli is dying to get this target. Kim Woo-jin gets us underway, and it is a 10 to start off with, a very confident 10 as well.
Yeah, and I just said Woo-jin because I had to choose between two titans of the sport, to be honest. And Mauro Nespoli has shot an incredible semi-final, so maybe against all odds I went for Woo-jin because it was just more of a gut feel than anything else. Yeah, you could see in his face, and also during the shot you could see that it was taking just too long. He was starting to shake a little bit more, and then when he shot it, he knew that was not going to go in the middle.
So A marker set of 29 in this first set. A little bit quicker, but still into the 9 for a 28. And the first 2 set points go to Kim Woo-jin. That long hold on the second arrow made the difference, really.
Yeah, that was quite a costly one, which is, it's weird to say because it was only a 9, and it's not that bad to shoot a 9 every once in a while. But if you're shooting against Olympic record holder Kim Woo-jin, I think you need to bring your A game.
You certainly do. Get a good idea of the flight of the arrow. It disappears above the frame, and then by the time it gets down the end, it's flying so fast you can't even pick it up on the camera. Well, you mentioned earlier on Nespoli has a little tremor in his back arm. That's nothing to be worried about, but that longer hold meant the tremor became more of a physical one.
Yeah, I think because he shoots so heavy, a longer hold is more costly for him than if he would shoot a little lighter. But it's a very sensible choice for him, or a well thought over choice for him to shoot a bit heavier, because he just noticed that he's getting better results with a heavier bow.
Nespoli trails by 2 set points to Kim Woo-jin in this gold medal match in Medellin. So he is going to start set number 2.
Yeah, and there's definitely some wind out there now. You could see the sleeve of Kim Woo-jin's shirt fluttering in the wind a bit, and I think it's really impressive how small his group is still. If you consider that there's wind on the bow, but also on the arrow, and that was another one of those, a little bit of a longer shot by Nespoli, making him shoot a 9 rather than a 10.
He just let that one go and almost remained motionless there.
Yeah, it's as a competitor, it's almost annoying to see how effortless Kim Woo-jin has forms his shots and shoots a 10.
Another 28 set by Nespoli. Kim Woo-jin. A 9 to share the points. A 10 to go 4-0 up. And well, no real surprise, he's shot a 10 when it's required to go 4-0 up, and this is a very strong performance from Kim Woo-jin. You predicted this one. Can it be done in 9 arrows?
Technically speaking, yeah, but I think Mauro Nespoli will say otherwise if it's up to him.
Shot 2 10s and 4 9s, Nespoli. It's the other way round for Kim Woo-jin, 2 9s, 4 10s.
Yeah, so in this match so far, yeah, it's definitely been on Kim Woo-jin's side, but if Mauro Nespoli can find anything of his semi-final form back, Kim Woo-jin might have to keep bringing his A game.
I think he knows that as well, doesn't he? He knows that he knows what Mauro Nespoli is. He knows what a superstar and what a legend of the sport he is. So, you know, if ever he's going to feel any nerves, apart from perhaps against his own teammates, this is the man that could cause him a big challenge, even from 4-0 down. Nespoli will begin the fight back as he starts set number 3.
And again, it's a 9, and it's not like shooting a 9 is a bad thing to do every once in a while, but he's shooting more 9s than he needs to shoot right now. I think Woo-jin seems to be shooting so well that Mauro needs to be stepping up his game right now. But yeah, like I said, he probably knows that as well.
Gets it into the 10. Putting some kind of pressure if Kim Woo-jin experiences pressure at all. Just outstanding. Oh, holds his nerve for the best arrow of the match from him. High score of 29, but the gold medal and a second stage win is available if Kim Woo-jin can hit the 10. Oh, he snuck it into the 9 for a 29. The match stays alive here. Kim Woo-jin still leads by 4 points, but Maro Nespoli is on the scoreboard.
Yeah, by a mere millimeter.
So you could look at this one. He shrugs his shoulders and said, "Okay, we'll just have another set then, and see where we go from here."
Well, look at the group size that he has. His the arrow that's furthest from center is probably about 7.5 centimeters from the absolute middle of the target, and that is from a distance of 70 meters. So it's incredible what Kim Woo-jin is showing us right now. It's a true masterclass of archery.
Yeah, I mean, it is incredible. It's very difficult to feel the depth on a television screen. So it's very difficult to convey to you, the audience at home, how long 70 meters is. But when you stand on the shooting line, it's quite tricky to see the X-ring for sure. It's quite tricky to see how...
Yeah, you will not be able to distinguish the lines at least. So the little yellow dot that you see is what on the TV screen shows as a really big yellow target, but it's actually, if you're standing on the line, it looks like this tiny yellow dot that you have to aim at.
5-1 in this gold medal match between Kim Woo-jin and Maro Nespoli. Nespoli trailing, shoots first in the 4th set. He's into the 10. This is what the Italian needs. Those dark clouds looking ominous above. But so is Kim Woo-jin.
Just incredible. It's not the first time that we've seen somebody shoot 29s in a final match, or even shooting a lot of 10s, and we've seen Kim Woo-jin shoot a match of only 30s in Tokyo, but just the group size and the seemingly the ease with which he does it, that's just the impressive part for me.
So 28 means that an 8 is all that's required for the second stage win of the season for Kim Woo-jin. Oh, and he looks like he's hit another 10, and it's another perfect score in the final set here in Colombia. A 7-1 win for the legend Kim Woo-jin. He has taken gold here in Medellin, his second stage win of the season. Well, Chef, I'm not sure there's much more we can add to what you said. The confirmation here that Kim Woo-jin has taken this. Maro Nespoli did well to force a 4th set, but Kim Woo-jin, what a masterclass.
Yeah, he made this look like it was a practice session. Truly, he looked so confident, so comfortable, and just his group size was just so very small on the target. Like I said, I think the arrow that hit the furthest from the middle of the target was maybe 7 or 7.5 centimeters away from the middle of the target. That's 3 inches for people on the Imperial system, but that's incredible.
Certainly, as we look back over the match, and it was another case of Nespoli just hitting too many 9s.
Yeah, because he didn't shoot a bad match. He shot a very solid match, but just, yeah, it would have been fine for like an elimination round somewhere in like the 2nd or 3rd round. But shooting against Kim Woo-jin in the World Cup final of the 4th stage, that's just, yeah, not enough to shoot 28s.
Kim Woo-jin, though, the big smile on his face, was forced into a 4th set, but he got the win that he wanted, and a second stage win for him after winning in Gwangju. He's taken gold here in Medellin.
Caballeros, permanezcan en sus asientos, ya que la ceremonia de premiación de la categoría Recurvo masculino individual dará comienzo en unos minutos.
Well, they managed to get things done and dusted before the rain came in. And we're getting a good look at this, an aerial view running down the 70-meter range. It gives you some idea of the distance these incredible archers are shooting over. Well, let's go and have a word with the stage winner here in Medellin. It's time to talk to Kim Woo-jin.
Kim Woo-jin, congratulations. You made a fantastic job. You got the gold twice today with your team and in the individual competition. This is a great achievement.
네, 김윤주 선수님 먼저 금메달 축하드리고요. 오늘 이제 금메달 2개 따셨잖아요. 팀 그리고 개인 각각 이렇게 하나 따셨는데 오늘 지금 기분이 어떠신가요?
일단 이제 거의 지구 반대편인 콜롬비아 메데진에 와서 이렇게 경기를 잘 치르고 또 좋은 성적을 거두게 되어서 매우 기쁘게 생각하고요. 이 아름다운 도시에서 좋은 성적을 거두게 되어 매우 기쁘게 생각합니다.
It took a long time for me to come to Colombia, and then even though I did have some hard time adjusting to the time zone, I'm really happy that I have a great performance this time, and also I'm really happy to have a great performance in this beautiful city of Medellin.
Thank you. By beating Jack Williams, you just qualified Brady to the World Cup final in Mexico. How do you feel about it?
이제 우진 선수님이 이제 잭을 이기면서 이제 순위상 브래디 앨리슨이 이제 월드컵 파이널에 진출을 하게 됐는데요. 이제 그거에 대해서 이제 어떻게 생각하시나요?
제가 그러면 잭이 안 되고 브래디가 된 거예요?
네, 이제 브래디가 파이널.
저는 뭐 제 경기를 했을 뿐이고 뭐 그 이외의 일에 대해서는 잘 모르겠습니다.
Well, I didn't think any of that. I just did what I have to do. I just focused on only my game, and I didn't think about other things rather than my own game. So, well, I have no thoughts about it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you. Gracias.
Oh, a little bit of English and Spanish there from the Korean Kim Woo-jin. Interesting. There was a little touch on that travel issue that he and all the Korean teams have had since the COVID pandemic hit the world. They've perhaps been the most restricted for Tokyo. They even recreated the setup in Tokyo, or for Tokyo, in Seoul. And they concentrated on that in the run-up to Tokyo, so they have left the country, and he has got himself on top of the podium here in Colombia. So time for the victory ceremony. Last of the victory ceremonies here in Medellin, the fourth stage of the Hyundai Archery World Cup, and the medals will be presented to the Recurve men's gold, silver and bronze athletes. Well, the step up in performance from this Spaniard has been incredible. It's a bronze medal from Miguel Alvarino Garcia from Spain. Well, the big game player didn't quite bring his A game to the final here in Medellin. But Mauro Nespoli has been racking up the ranking points this season, gets a hat load more here in Medellin with a silver medal winning performance. he's still the man to beat. He won the second stage on home soil in Gwangju, Korea. And Kim Woo-jin has taken his second stage win here in Medellin, Colombia. He's the world #1. And he has got to be the favourite going in to the Hyundai Archery World Cup final in Mexico. For now, he will celebrate yet again on a podium with his national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of Republic of Korea.
Well, a superb performance, especially from Kim Woo-jin, who has taken the gold medal for the second time this season at a Hyundai Archery World Cup stage, winning here in Medellin, Colombia, beating Mauro Nespoli of Italy in the final. And it was Miguel Alvarino Garcia taking bronze with a victory over Jack Williams in that third place playoff. Handshakes all around for the medalists here. Last of the action from the 4 stages as we start to glance ahead to that World Cup final coming in Mexico. Speaking of which, let's take a look at how things look after the 4 stages. The stage winners Kim Woo-jin, Miguel Alvarino and Marcus D'Almeida qualified directly by winning stages here. The ranking qualifiers are Kim Jae-duk from Korea, Mauro Nespoli, silver medalist here, the Olympic medalist from Turkey, Mete Gazos, and the USA's Brady Ellison.
For more archery action from all over the world. Thank you and good night. Damas y caballeros, así concluimos la cuarta etapa.
Well, they managed to get things done and dusted here before the expected rain is due here in the lofty city of Medellin, Colombia. Beautiful, colourful city nestled in the Andean mountain range.
Así como el complejo Parques del Río en la ciudad de Medellín. La final de la Copa del Mundo del 2022 se llevará a cabo en Tlaxcala, México, desde octubre 14 hasta octubre 16. Asegúrate de seguir a World Archery en todas las redes sociales para más acción del tiro con arco de todo el
Chef,
mundo.
your highlights from this individual Final 4 session?
For me, I would definitely have to give it to Kim Woo-jin and his finals match. He made it look so easy to get that final done. Yeah, it was just, he has always been and still is one of my archery heroes.
Well, we'll take a look back over the whole session, Chef, and Anne San showing us what she can do against Katharina Bauer from Germany. She won that semi-final. It was an all-Korean semi-final in the second women's recurve competition, and we saw Lee going up against Kang. The bronze medal was a playoff between Kang and Bauer, and it was Kang who took that bronze medal. The all-Korean, all-important final between Anne and Lee, a winner-takes-all situation, and triple Olympic champion was the one that came up on top. Anne San qualifying here in Colombia for the World Cup finals. It was Alvarino versus Nespoli in the first men's semi-final. Nespoli taking a 7-1 win in that match. Alvarino faced Jack Williams who missed out on his opportunity to qualify for the finals in the bronze medal match. And Alvarino took the victory there. So all that remained here in Medellin was the match-off between Mauro Nespoli of Italy and Kim Woo-jin in the men's final. Kim Woo-jin was on absolute fire and took a second stage win here in Colombia. All that remains is to thank you, Chef Vandenberg, for your marvellous insight into this sport, and to thank all of you for joining us at the 4 stages of this Hyundai Archery World Cup circuit. We've been in Antalya, we've been in Guangzhou, we've been in Paris, and now we finish things off here in Medellin, Colombia. And now these athletes can focus on the Hyundai Archery World Cup final coming up on the 15th and 16th of October in Mexico. Thanks for joining us. We will see you then.